Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. We're starting going back to work. Now that makes very little sense, but I've just done a delivery at Lightcliffe tea rooms and we're heading back. So what I thought I'd do is get some footage in early and then I've got some in the bag, as it were. Beggar to get out of this because the street parking, you can never see if you're clear or not. So yes, we're heading back to work. Now, what a weekend last weekend was. My goodness. So it's Friday the 23rd of June now. Last weekend it was a scorcher in the UK. In fact, we had a right little run of a heat wave, and yeah, it was amazingly hot. In fact, I can't recall it ever being that hot, to be honest. It was just, I think 32, 33 degrees. I mean, that's just unknown temperatures. Boiling, too hot even to be out in it. That's, you know, the other thing. The moment it's raining and cold, no, I can't go out. It was too hot to be out in the sun. If you can find the shade, you're right outside in the shade, but yeah, it was a scorcher. Had a couple of days out. On the Saturday went to Brid, past Bob Bell's stomping ground. Sorry Bob didn't call in, but we were a bit kind of busy. We would have done. We didn't set off too early, to be honest, which is a bit poor of us, but you know, that sort of thing happens. So that was all good, and then I think it might be a while. Well, it was good, apart from one minor issue, which was we got there's a nip through. Bit sneaky that one, but it was right there. On the way back, and the car said 32 degrees when we got in. We were driving back to York. We were stopping off in York, and there was this mysterious flapping, banging flappy sound. It sounded like a seagull had just got stuck on the roof or something and was away bashing at it. And it was right above the rear view mirror on the car. So thinking, what the devil is that banging about above me? And the thing is, it seemed to increase more at certain speeds, and then at lower speeds it didn't make a noise. That's very strange. So I stopped off at York, and when I got out, it was totally apparent what the flapping noise was, as the seal between the windscreen and the roof, which is the panoramic glass roof, had come completely away from the gap it filled between the two, and had just been literally just flapping about in the wind. It's still joined at either corner edges of the windscreen, I hasten to add, so, and just floated off completely. It was joined there, but it just made this like sail in between, flapped about. So great, I thought, on the new car. Marvellous Renault. Some great build quality going on there then. So Julie stuffed it back in the hole it came out of and sort of wedged it back in as it should be. Didn't seem to be a hint of glue or anything that would have held it in place, so put it back in. Of course, on the way back from York to home, same thing, it just popped back out again under motorway wind and was away it was a bit like an aerofoil when I got back home. People have been watching me driving along, they've been thinking, why is that idiot put a spoiler on the front, Cadger, there you go. Put a spoiler on the front end of his car above the windscreen. What a fool. Because that's what it kind of looked like. It was just like an aerofoil above the windscreen. So I shoved it back in. I was going back to York on the Sunday. I was like, well, I can't be having the thing popping out all the time. It's just ludicrous. So I had to come up with some cunning plan to keep it in place until I got it sorted, whatever that might have been. So the solution was, of course, a reel of duct tape, because everyone's got a reel of duct tape around, haven't they? Well, I do. The universal fixing agent duct tape. So yes, I am now sporting a limited edition 2017 Renault Kadjar with silver duct tape windscreen accents. Which is just ludicrous. It doesn't look too bad. to be honest. I'm kind of thinking, and it made the wind noise in the cabin while on the motorway on the Sunday. Just, you couldn't hear anything. It was so much quieter. But I do suspect the fact that that seal hadn't been fitted quite right. Apparently, it's a common problem, not just with the Cadgers, but with all the cars that have these panoramic glass roofs. Because the seal, the tolerance for getting the windscreen in the perfect position to keep the seal in place is millimetre, a literal millimetre. And if they have it just too low, then it won't hold. And apparently quality control is supposed to pick this up before they ever leave the factory. But they aren't very good at it, or they had a tea break when they were supposed to be doing this one or something. But yeah, I've since discovered that particularly on the Cadger, there's about 20 odd people I've found have had similar problems going from brand new to a year or plus. It lasts a bit longer on some than others. I suppose it just depends on how far out they are getting the screen right. So yeah, that was a bit of a pain. So fortunately it's booked in next Tuesday morning for Renault to basically, they've got to take the whole windscreen out and reseal it all again. So that's like, let's let this guy out because he's got now coming down and he'd just not manage it otherwise. So yeah, so I'm going to take it in, but they are going to provide a courtesy car, which isn't actually technically part of the lease I've got. I didn't get that bit. I didn't pay the extra bit for that bit on the lease because, well, my previous car, it didn't spend more than 7 hours. In fact, I said this to it, it's never spent more than 7 hours in the garage throughout the 6 years I had the last Renault. And you say it's 2 to 3 days to fix this brand new one. So I think you kind of deserve a courtesy car for all that mucking about, which they agreed. So I'm getting a courtesy car, which will probably be some ridiculously tiny little thing. But what the hey. So other than cooking in the car and cooking the car to bits, oh, there's a crash here as well. I saw it on the way out. I think she's pulled out into this van or something. It's all very unfortunate. Hope no one crashes into me. Well, it's a handy place to crash, isn't it? Bash your car outside the body shop. You just leave it there, I'll fix all the dents for me now. That's quite a nice BMW with stripe down it. So yeah, it's been super hot. We had a few trips out and did stuff at the weekend. That was pretty good. Work-wise this week, it's not been too bad again, actually. You know, steady away, getting stuff sorted out and finished off at work. And yeah, it's been okay, really. I've
warning, K-band radar check speed.
30. That's good. I'm okay. I've got the flappy panoramic roof open again, so we can see the sky, which is full of clouds. As the weather has now turned, it's gone all wet back to the usual. I mean, 15 degrees is pretty mild for the UK still. Just half the temperature and some of the weekend, but it's not bad. But it's a bit wet now, and apparently we're going to have a lot of wet over the next week or so. So just back to usual UK. Sorry UK. We had those few days respite from the weather, but it's come back to haunt us. So never mind. I did actually drop my Hermes parcels off on the way to Lightcliffe tea rooms. So I've actually got that job done, which means I might take the Queensbury route home just for a change. Bit of a change of scenery, as it were. Annoyingly, and I'm gonna admit, I was very cross with myself. Give myself a stern talking to last Saturday, because we came back and heading back from Brid, we headed across to York on the road that leads to Pocklington. Now, Bob will probably know which road it is. I'll have to look up the code of the road, whatever else. But it's a not very well frequented road, quite sort of thin and narrow, but it's really uppy, downy, narrow, and then it has some long stretches where you can really put the pedal to metal if you fancy. And a few places where you decide you just want to slow down, because although it's straight, it's got a lot of dips. It's the kind of where, you know, a car will go down and bottom out on it. you're going too quick, even though it's a straight road. So, but it was a heck of a road, and it's some lovely turns, and then you go in under trees and bits. And it would have been perfect for dash cam footage, absolutely perfect. And I forgot, we were in such a fluster to get off on a Saturday morning, forgot to put the dash cam in the car, didn't I? Because I'd had it for the vlog the night before, so it wasn't in the car. So that would have been just a brilliant road. It was a brilliant drive, there was no traffic, so I was just free rein through it, and it just been great. And I forgot the dash cam, so no footage there. I suppose I could have thought just like doing the phone with the front facing instead, but then it'd have been in this portrait into the landscape, which would have been no good. So I could have turned the thing round, but I don't like meddling with it too much. So yeah, missed out on that one, sadly. So I'm kind of holding up on some things to talk about because I need to do more on the way back. I don't want to run out completely. I've of course got Richard and Ellis's news to do, but I've not even emailed myself that yet because it's only 2:15. So I've got a few hours to get on and do those sorts of bits. I'm going to pop into next door to us, which is going to be a bit weird, me driving in there to park up just to pick up. I've got 3 more of these LED buttons on order from them. I need to collect them, so I'll just grab them while I'm out. So yeah, I'm going to pop in there now, just when we park up, and then like I say, we will continue on my way home later on. So zoom around here. Boom. Great. So oh yeah, thanks Bob for commenting on the reverse parking thing, because actually I've started frequenting a forum for the car, as you do. I've been on forums for ages and ages, so I'd forgotten how much fun they were because I just went onto Twitter and YouTube watching and stuff. So anyway, I couldn't figure out a lot of the stuff on the car to start off with because there's so many different bells and switches and things to navigate into. So I thought, I'll tell you what, I'm going to find a forum, and I found a forum that answered a lot of the questions I was googling. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll just stick on this because it's quite interesting, it's a bit of fun. So I was doing this forum, and it was great, very good. So yeah, that was for someone on there who's going to be getting a Cadger, disabled driver, and he wanted to know what the parking sensors were like, how it worked. So I did a little video for that for him. Thought it'd be nice. Right, so I'm going to go and get my lights and sort that out, and I'll see you later on this evening. Okay, see ya. Hello and welcome to the next part of this week's coffee vlog. Continuing from earlier, I've tried to make it a bit higher than the steering wheel, but you're still getting in it a bit. I can't actually get, well, I could get a tad, is that a word, tad? A tad higher than the steering wheel, well, than it is in the cradle now. But it'd probably actually bounce off the windscreen while I was driving, which wouldn't be great, would it? So I think we'll just stick with, this is about where we're getting to, and you're going to have to see a bit of the steering wheel action going on. So yes, I forgot earlier, last week of course I was late leaving. I mean, it's now 10 to 6, so it's not much better really. Stupid couple. Because we had the router changeover, which I did all that, did all the messing about changing the subnet. Checked over the weekend and I could log into computers that stay on at work, so great, they're on. And then Monday morning came in expecting that hopefully it was all going to work fine, and of course it didn't all work fine. I was puzzling over it because majority of computers worked fine, but would you believe the main ones for the accounts package, which all run through a gigabit router, which is a bit suspicious, they were not connecting at all. They didn't want to. The internet connection was showing up as connected, but with a warning triangle, and they wouldn't show up between each of you know, it was like they weren't just weren't connected. for some way, and I puzzled about it, and it was frustrating because I'd got loads on. It had been a Monday morning, and I'd spent ages trying to make sure this didn't happen on the Friday, and it had done, and of course it was stopping all the guy in the warehouse doing any packing, because no orders could get printed out, and no one could do anything because the computers that do Sage were talking to each other, so it was a bit of a malarkey. And somehow, I don't know even why I thought about doing it, I unplugged the cable to the gigabit router, which was directly into the broadband router, and I plugged it into an 8 port switch that I had just for expanding connections, obviously. And lo and behold, they all worked fine, mysteriously. So I was like, oh, that's very odd. Maybe it's something to do with the gigabit switch, you know, being directly connected, although it made no sense because it's the same router that I had before, exactly the same as the One Plus Net provided. This is exactly the same one, so I couldn't see why it'd make a scrap of difference, but I thought, oh well, whatever. So I did that, and then on the Monday evening before we were going, I thought, well, instead of leaving that router with just one empty slot, I'll connect the warehouse computer up to it, and it'll take a bit of load off that aging 8-port switch, because obviously the gigabit switch connects all the computers that use our accounting software together at gigabit speeds, and what feeds into that is just really the internet, which doesn't need to be very fast anyway, so it can go via whatever sort of port is available. So I'll put the warehouse one in. Next morning, warehouseman comes in first thing, internet's not working on my computer, I can't do any labels with DPD local. It's like, oh, now that is interesting, because of course what I then did is take the Ethernet cable out of, just trying to make sure I get out of here, take the Ethernet cable out again of that port and put it back into the 8-port switch, and everything was fine again. So it seems the problem that caused me about an hour and a half of puzzling and delving into the innards of both routers to try and see where it was different and what was going wrong was down to the fact that there's actually a dicky Ethernet port on the damn router that got sent, the new one, that doesn't work, and that was it. Darn. So yeah, I wasn't best pleased about that. When they come to, because they're redoing the phone system at the next, we're going to have all the VoIP, voice over internet protocol, and not pay, because currently we pay for 3 lines with BT, which is too expensive apparently. So we're just going to have the 1 line which brings the internet in, and we'll probably do some faxes out and some other bits and pieces, and then all the other lines, all the other numbers will be linked just via the internet instead. We'll need a new phone system for that though, but whatever. So yeah, I'll mention it to him, but I don't want another router because I'm not going through the faff of changing the subnet yet again, and I don't need that port that isn't working. I just now I know it's not working, avoid using it. So big news this week, of course, was iOS 11 Beta 2. Now Monday night I was waiting for it desperately. Oh come on, please, I want Beta 2, and it didn't come. Tuesday night I thought, well, maybe Tuesday, sometimes do it Tuesday. Didn't come Tuesday night, and by this point I'm like, it's not going to happen, is it? We're not going to have Beta 2 this week. They're going to stretch it out yet another week. And then lo and behold, Wednesday night, I was just on Twitter, and someone had tweeted out, or a couple of people, I think Steve Troughton Smith I follow, and another one tweeted out, oh, Beta 2's out, and I was like, my god, this better not be a wind up, because I'm desperate for it. And of course I went in and checked, and it was like saying no software update available for iOS 11's up to date. I'm like, oh no, why aren't I getting it? And people are saying it's there. And then I remembered, of course, because I'd set up a new again with the iOS 11 issue, I'd not actually got, and this is a bit of a weird oddity, this, I'd not got the beta profiles for iOS 11 on the phone. But the thing is, if you install the iOS 11 issue, you would think by default it would know it was a beta build and needed to download beta updates, but apparently no. Even if you install the iOS 11 ipsu from DFU mode, it doesn't automatically know it's on iOS 11. You still have to download the beta profile to activate the downloads of the betas over the air. So a bit of an odd one that, but so I went and did that. Got my phone updated, set my watch off updating on Wednesday night. Wednesday morning found it hadn't done the update yet because it was wanting to ask for something, which it does do now and again, very annoying. So then proceeded to set it off on Thursday morning, and it took absolutely forever. In fact, I'd left the house, I was dropping the lad off at school, left the house with it still sort of trying to finish and boot up again. And Apple Watch OS 4 Beta 2 was then throughout Thursday a dog. It's a good job. I took my charger with me because I'd taken it and I knew it was still booting up, and when it's booting up it always has the screen on permanently until it's actually got there. So of course that's draining battery all the time, so I thought I'm going to take my charger because there's a good chance this could have some problems. Well, come midday it was nearly dead. I was like, oh well, maybe it was just that sort of thing. So I charged it up again to 98%. I think I went 5th to 4th there. Second. Bit of a job. So, charged it up at lunchtime, and by sort of 1:30 I got it up to 99. I put it back on again. And then, come 5 o'clock, I was down to 40%. I was like, this is not good at all. I put it back on charge a bit, but I thought, no, there's something definitely not right, and it was really laggy using it, the watch as well. So I thought, no, this has gone, something's gone completely balked with this. I don't know what. So I decided the best option when I got home Thursday night was to reset the watch completely, wipe it and start again afresh, which I did last night. Went through all the predicament of resetting it all again. But that was actually quicker than trying to reinstall the firmware, let's put it that way, because it already installed the update, so it was just wiping off the personal data and starting with scrap again, starting from scrap, which isn't too bad because there's not a great deal of stuff held on the watch. Anyway, so did that, and today it's actually not doing bad at all. In fact, I think now we're on 36% now from, I put it on at 7 AM. So while not as good as it's been before on previous firmwares, it's still a lot better than it was yesterday. And it's going to last me out probably till bedtime now with 36% at nearly 6 PM. We've done 11 hours and it's used 75%. So, quick calculation. Probably another 4 hours should get me to 10 o'clock, maybe that amount, something like that. So we'll see. We'll see how we get on with that. So yeah, it's a bit grey, isn't it? I don't know. I think I might need to put my demisty things on. He's got some bright lights. It's getting a bit dark now. I'll put my lights on. Whoa. That's led us up a bit, isn't it? And we'll shut that up again now. Thank you very much. That's just got rid of any mist on the windscreen. Still mists up a bit, this, like the other one. Not as bad as the last Brennell I had, but it still mists up. So yes, on the whole, resetting the watch solved that little mysterious problem. There's some bug or something else. I think part of the problem was that for some reason it had decided it had installed like every single app that it could do on the watch previously.
Warning, K-band, radar.
I think I'd got automatic app install on or whatever, so it just automatically puts anyone that can go on the watch on it. And I decided not to do that this time and just selected the few that I wanted on there. And I'm not sure if that's not a bit of a big help. It's a bit tight down here. It's a bit tight. So on the whole, phone-wise, the phone's doing pretty good, to be honest. I mean, it's a lot better than it was previously. I mean, today it's taking a fair smattering because obviously I'm doing the vlog as well, so that's not going to help it. But I mean, I'm still on. I think I was over 60% before I started this one after doing the previous vlog, so that's actually pretty good going. It's certainly, you know, it's going to get me home. I might have to plug it in before I move this footage off. Talking about footage, I do not know what went on last week. Nice BMW. Now this is going to set the engine off if I roll. I've noticed this. Or maybe not. And if it'll roll a little bit, I can get away with it. The footage, I spent all last Friday night prattling about with it. That was like my Friday night fun, trying to do the vlog. The footage, it just, Final Cut wouldn't see it. I don't know, I transferred it with AirDrop to the Mac. I could play it on the Mac fine. When I looked at it from the Mac, you know, Mac Finder with Final Cut, could it find, well, it could see the file, but it was greyed out. It just wouldn't load it, like it didn't know what it was, or it wasn't in a proper format for Final Cut. So I was like, what? Why? I don't, you know, what's wrong with it? I couldn't figure it out. So I tried sort of getting it uploaded to Photos, so I could then bring it in off that. That eventually worked. Of course, it took for ages because it was uploading it over the internet anyway. That worked for letting me import it via that way, but because it wouldn't let me bring it in off the phone either, because you can plug the phone in and Final Cut recognises the phone and then you can ship it, but it wouldn't let me pull them in off there. And then when I pulled them in off the sort of the internet from Photos, I just had audio on the black screen. I was like, oh, this is just perfect. Why? So eventually, I don't know, I just had this like a brief bit of inspiration. Why don't I use Handbrake to just convert the file, because it's readable already, I mean the Mac reads it fine, convert the file and see if I can convert it to a file that will then be understood by Final Cut. So I did that and it worked perfectly. It took a while for Handbrake to munch through the file and convert it, but eventually did it and let me complete doing the vlog, you know. So it was ready to upload at sort of 7:30, and it was nearly 11 o'clock before I finally got on with the uploading bit of it.
Warning, speed trap limit 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, we're doing 30, it's good. So yeah, that was just a bit of a malarkey, to be honest. And so I set it off uploading, and then went to bed. And apparently it completed at some point, because I forgot I'd ended up getting the Pro out, because I knew that video encoding would be a right job and a half, and my poor little Air would take forever and a day to do it. So I dragged the MacBook Pro out to do the heavy work, and just finished the vlog off on that instead. And I forgot, because I'm on the Air now, I've got it set not to be private, and then I can just sort of set it public when I fancy, when I've finished off doing the bits and pieces. And I hadn't got it, I just got it set straight to public, so obviously it made public without me doing any of me twiddling and putting a description or anything on. So, but never to mind, it got there in the end. So yeah, we've got some words of wisdom from Richard Ellis to read at some point. Maybe at the next light, or it'll be when I get home. Oh, talking about home, when we got back last week and there was the mystery of the rabble at my house. So apparently what it was, that they'd been playing out, and some of the other children from the street had been playing in our garden, and then they'd gone in, my lot had gone in, from the missus, and just said, so, well, kids, right, we're going in now, so come out, because we've got the big trampoline and stuff, so they're not coming around and play on and on that and whatever else. So then sent them out, and evidently one of the lads, who's, I think he's probably about 8, so he's perhaps a year older than, oh, go on, I'm feeling real generous, go on, Also, I'd have to squeeze past you sticking your juke out. Sticking your juke out sounds a bit rude, that, doesn't it? Don't you go sticking your juke out. So yeah, one of the lads had basically he'd gone out the garden, but he'd been sneaking back in our back garden, but jumping over the back fence and into other people's gardens. So my missus had gone out and said to me, "Don't you be going back in our garden because we're not in there, is it?" And he kind of gave her a load of abuse, and I wasn't doing it. Blah, 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 blah. So she was like, "Well, I'm not having any of that." So she went over to his mum and dad's, and he's like, "I wouldn't do it because they aren't in anyway." And of course they were. He was trying to blag it, and it didn't work. So anyway, they sent him in, called him in, and obviously given him a right ticking off. And then what was happening there was that the father had brought him back over to apologise for his ranting mouth and messing about in the garden when he shouldn't be. So that was what that was about. But to be fair, he was back in on better terms on Monday night, because we had a big barbecue Monday night, and pretty much all the kids from the whole street were around. So Monday night, because it was still some of the half decent weather, it's like, right, get back, we'll have a barbecue. So having barbecue, get back, have a barbecue. That garden rammed with kids. We ended up fed like the entire street. I think we got through nearly 30 odd sausages, about 12 rashers of bacon. It's a bit of a tight one, that. 12 rashers of bacon. Chicken, about 4 chicken breasts, all chopped up into little bits, and it was just like manic. And at the end of the day, I think I got 2 beef burgers at 10 PM eventually, and I don't think hardly anyone from my family had anything of the barbecue. Who just fed everyone else's kids. I know that everyone else on the street was very pleased about the fact that they didn't have to feed their own children on Monday night, because they all got fed round ours instead. But they all had a blast playing together. So you know, it's nice for my 2 boys to have them round, and they can all have a play and whatever else. It's not too bad as long as they don't start arguing. You know, kids like to start arguing sometimes. You know, right, you're all out and you're all going in. Had enough of that arguing, but no, it went on okay. So that was pretty good. It looks like I'm gonna have to do Mr. Nellis when I get home. To be running into things. So yes, I took a different route. I took the Queensbury route back home tonight, just for a change, and I dropped Holmes parcels off on the way to Lightcliffe tea rooms to get it out of the way. So that's all been dealt with now. So I thought I don't have to actually go to don't have to get to the petrol station. We'll go a different way, just so you can see a different route. Oh, crazy kids are just wanting to jump out and attack us. Always the way. It's kind of amazing that we don't get more accidents with kids around here, because there's some absolute nut jobs who drive us. Especially, and then there's kids like that just run out in front of cars randomly. But she's one of the ones that was playing out on the night round our garden, in fact. And he's only 2, that little lad there, Charlie. All right, now where are you going? Where are you going? It's everyone trying to make my life awkward. It's awkward enough. I don't need more people making life awkward. Where's he going? Right, so now I've got to do the most ridiculous reversing manoeuvre ever. Like round half the street because I missed a numpty boy. Sure, no one, because I love running behind me car, buggers as well. I think they're all still sat there, so that's good. If you go slow enough back, you'll soon. Oh, the sensors actually hear them. Oh, Bob, sensors, yes. Bob, thanks for commenting on my my sensors video. If you're wondering why I did that, I mean, it was a bit of an odd thing to be doing. I was on a Renault forum, and oh, I talked about this actually, didn't I? Yeah, I did it just before I went and got my light bulbs. Forgotten that. Yeah, but it's for that full room. Also, I tell you, I watched a good video by I nearly turned the engine off. Don't like to turn the engine off because it'll turn the dash cam off. And now what's Jordan doing there?
Fuck that, it working at the side.
It does that when you turn the wheels. See, you know what I told you about everyone?
Yeah, but you came on and I saw this.
Yeah, only one comes on. When the headlights are on, only one comes on the way you're turning to illuminate the road in the direction you're turning. Yes, there you are. So, well, that's put me right off now, hasn't it? Gordon Keenan, I'd done a video on Charlie's there running away on scratch repair because he's got a new car. Everyone's getting new cars. It must be summer or something. I don't know. I'll take this off. So he got a new car and he got a few stone chips in it, which I can understand. It's a bit annoying, especially when you got a new car and he got a nice white car and sort of showing the black underneath. On this Chipex thing, he did a video. It was a really good video, Gordon. Actually, 20 odd minutes, and I watched every minute of it. Very entertaining. He had to speed some of that, for God knows how long he spent doing his chips anyway. Right, let's do Mr. Nellis and then we'll get in because I'm a bit pooped. I was opening a crate of a roaster. Someone at 3 o'clock decided to say, oh, I'm coming Monday to look at your roasters, the one you roast with and also another one. And the one was crated, I had to uncrate it, left me drill here, my electric hand drill. So of course I've had to unscrew like 30 odd 8-inch screws, massive long screws by hand with a screwdriver. It's got blisters, it's bad. So that took far too long to do as well. And it also pooped me out. Right, okay, so Mr. Nellis says he went to Round A Park on Monday and Hardcastle Crags on Tuesday. Hardcastle Crags is pretty good, I like Hardcastle Crags. His mum's going to a safe, active travel cup school play at Square Chapel as it will be on YouTube soon. So I've told him his mum has to drink lots of our coffee from Square Chapel when she goes. The Crystal Maze is coming back only for a famous Persian special to Channel 4 at 9 PM. Not sure when 9 PM, maybe tonight? Was it last night? Who knows? The new Churchill film, not seen out about that, Richard, but I'm sure it'll be good. The Tiger Who Came to Tea, the stage show at the Victoria Theatre in Halifax on the 2nd and 3rd September, based on the book by Judith Kerr, the creator of Mog the Cat. Oh, well, there you are. That sounds pretty interesting, doesn't it? The Tiger Who Came to Tea. Right, that's enough of me this week, I think. I've waffled on and bored you enough. So have a good week and weekend, good weekend and week even. I'll catch you in next week's coffee vlog. See ya!